You may have seen a video that's gone viral recently of a young woman crying about being fired from her DoorDash job after claiming to have been sexually assaulted whilst on the job. This made a lot of people on the internet upset. They started calling out DoorDash. They started boycotting DoorDash. But now many on the internet are telling a different story and claiming that this young girl is in fact not a victim. So today we're going to talk about DoorDash girl. Let's get into it.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Yes, today we're talking about DoorDash girl. At least that's what the internet is calling her. This is a sort of weird, layered conversation about this experience that happened to a young woman, but it speaks to internet culture. It speaks to us jumping to conclusions. It speaks to us not waiting for information. So today we're going to unpack all of this. Now I'm going to show you the viral video of this young girl crying about being fired from DoorDash.
Hey guys, so DoorDash just deactivated me 2 days after I reported my sexual assault. Hey guys, I just lost my job, and they won't tell me why. They're supposed to send an email immediately after deactivation providing you the reason why and a link to appeal, and they didn't. So I contacted support, and they made me sit on the phone with them for 50 minutes just to tell me that they can't tell me the reason why, and I have to just go ahead and appeal without knowing why. So my chances of getting my account back, they have my money in that account. I was working. I was literally working, and they deactivated me. This is related. They just punished me for posting about my sexual assault while door dashing. They just fired me, and the police are doing nothing. I lost my job, and that was my only way to make money to pay my bills.
Okay, let's pause there. Lots of emotions, lots of really, really big emotions. I can understand some people seeing this and in this culture of like hashtag time's up, hashtag me too, hashtag believe all women, that they would just like jump to believe everything that's being said in this video at 100%. And with how emotional she is and with the story she's telling, it literally sounds like she was working for DoorDash. Somebody assaulted her, which we must be reminded, the word assault means to be like physically touched by somebody. So somebody sexually assaulted this woman, and then she reports it and talks about it on the internet, and then DoorDash terminates her, which would be a super crazy thing if exactly what she said on its face was what happened. But we're going to get a little bit of a different story. And it's not a story that completely makes her look like a villain or completely exonerates the guy that she's talking about, but it is one that tells us that maybe we should wait before jumping to conclusions, and maybe we should wait before just like hurling, boycott threats at a company or going after somebody on the internet or defending somebody completely on the internet. Maybe we wait. Now I'm going to show you a video that this young woman took on the day that she apparently, as she claims, got SA'd, sexually assaulted. Here's the video.
That's fucked up.
Okay, so she walks up to this door. She apparently leaves the food at the front door as the DoorDash orderer requested. Now she writes in this TikTok, a man named Austin orders DoorDash, selects the option to have the order left at door, sees his DoorDasher Me has a female name, falls asleep on the couch with his pants and underwear to his ankles and his front door wide open in 59-degree Fahrenheit. So this is what I see when I have to leave the order. So there you have the claim. I walk up to the door as a DoorDasher. I'm dropping the food. Your door is open. You're there on the couch asleep. She's sort of insinuating that he wasn't asleep and that his pants and underwear are down. Now, in some videos, she states that he was indecently exposed, that she could see something. In the video at hand, the original, I can't tell exactly what can be seen in this video, but regardless, let's ask ourselves a question. Is this sexual assault? If the claim she's making is true, and he intentionally had her come to his front door and drop the order with the front door wide open, and he left everything hanging out for her to see. At best, I think that's like sexual harassment, indecent exposure. So it is not sexual assault. So that's already strike one, where in the original video we watched, she claims she was sexually assaulted by a DoorDash customer, and then her job was terminated. And while this may just be a lack of education on how we phrase things and how we talk about things that have happened to us, especially on a legal level, nonetheless, this is not an example of sexual assault. Now, do I know what this guy intended to do? I have no idea. I don't know if he purposefully left his door open for her to see all that. I don't know whether or not he was actually asleep on the couch. I see some people on the internet saying that in other videos, she stated she had come to the door and pushed the door open a bit and seen what was going on in the house. I do not know whether or not any of that is true. I do not know. I do not know. I do not know. I think we all need to get a little bit more comfortable with saying we do not know, because as soon as her original video came out and she's screaming about losing her job, people fly to defend her, fly to go after DoorDash, fly to find the guy who she referenced was named Austin and ordered DoorDash and had, a full picture of his front door and everything going on inside of his house. Is that okay? Probably not. But nonetheless, the story goes on. Let's watch her go through the details.
3 days ago, October 12th, 2025, I was a victim of SA by a DoorDash customer while I was doing my job as a DoorDash driver. Excuse me if you've already seen this. This is my third time posting this because TikTok keeps silencing me and taking my videos down and giving me strikes.
And I have to ask, why is TikTok taking your videos down and silencing you and giving you strikes? Is it because they're not comfortable with what you're saying? Or is it because you are literally accusing somebody of sexual assault when even the details, your given details of the story, do not qualify as sexual assault? And I don't know, legally speaking, whether or not that opens her up to a defamation case, but I have a feeling it would, considering that she's posted essentially where the guy lives. She's posted the guy's name, and she's also accused him of sexual assault, when at best, if his intentions were nefarious, we're looking at sexual harassment or indecent exposure. So we gotta really talk about this. We gotta figure this out.
So if I get one more strike, you guys, I'm just letting you know right now my account is going to be banned. So I'm going to try to word this as chill as possible to avoid getting this video striked. So on October 12th, 2025, the DoorDash customer requested that their order be left at their front door. When I arrived at their front door was wide open. Their lights were on. And they were sleeping on the couch within eyesight of the front door with their pants and underwear pulled down to their ankles, and they were indecently exposed to me. I got this on video, and I'm not even going to be posting the video clip anymore because I'm pretty sure that's what's getting me the strikes. But yeah, I reported it to DoorDash, and DoorDash did ban the customer. And then 2 days later, DoorDash banned me, which doesn't seem unrelated. I appealed, and they were supposed to respond to my appeal within 7 to 10 business days. They didn't even provide me a reason for my deactivation. They're supposed to send an email. They didn't. So I contacted support, and they told me to continue with my appeal without knowing a reason why. There's an option to select, don't know why I was deactivated, and then you still have to explain yourself. So I did. And within 12 hours afterward, they had already denied my appeal. So I'm really never getting my DoorDash account back. DoorDash deactivated me. DoorDash punished me for exposing my assaulter, and TikTok is currently punishing me for exposing my story time. And this is the only justice I'm getting because I also reported this to the police, and the police are doing nothing.
And I wonder at what point did she report this to the police? I'm thinking just as keeping your street smarts intact, if you feel like something like this has happened to you and that it qualifies as harassment or indecent exposure, not sexual assault. Let's be very clear about that. And I don't know what this guy was actually up to, whether or not he'd actually fallen asleep, whether or not he intended to do this on purpose. It seems a little weird to fall asleep with your door wide open. And I will say that this happened to her in New York. And in New York, even if you were in the confines of your own house, if they find that you've done this, purposefully, that he had this DoorDasher come to his door with the intent of indecently exposing himself to her, you're going to get in trouble for that. It's not just you're on your private property. You can do whatever you want in a situation like this. Now, should she have maybe gone straight to law enforcement, okay, if she thought this happened to her? I think so. I don't know, do anything before immediately putting something on TikTok, attempting to expose somebody on there. That's just my advice.
So the update is, last night I was made aware, a bunch of people started commenting on my pages that DoorDash made a public statement about me on their TikTok story and on their most recent Instagram post in the comment section. And I'm not going to speak too much further on details, but what I am going to say is I and the entire rest of the world found out why I lost my job at the exact same time. I didn't find out before you guys. I'm just letting you know this right now. The people that saw their public statements and made me aware that they made those public statements knew why I lost my job before I did.
Okay. So notice how you're hearing a much calmer response in this final video. She's not screaming anymore. She's not yelling at DoorDash about being terminated and about losing her income. She's saying, I found out at the same time as everybody else did. So she's essentially saying now it's not the issue that DoorDash terminated me. So she's finding out in their reasoning that they've posted, which we'll get into in just a moment. She's saying the problem is that you didn't tell me as soon as you terminated my account, and you didn't tell me upon appeal, and you didn't tell me in the many emails in which we were, speaking with one another, trying to figure this whole situation out, which goes to show that maybe some terms of service were violated when, I don't know, she posted the video of the guy at his house with his pants down with his name online. Maybe that's what happened. So let's go over to DoorDash's post and we're going to read it. We've seen some tough and sensitive posts over the past few days, and we want to clear the air. No one should ever have to experience sexual assault, harassment, or abuse, and DoorDash never deactivates somebody for reporting it. Full stop. We take these reports incredibly seriously and work closely with law enforcement to investigate and support those affected. In this case, the Dasher let us know about an experience that made them feel unsafe, and that's exactly what we always want Dashers to do. Our team immediately began investigating and has been in direct contact with law enforcement and is prepared to fully support any of their efforts. However, posting a video of a customer in their home and disclosing their personal details publicly is a clear violation of our policies. This is the sole reason that this Dasher's account was deactivated, along with the customers, while we investigated. We've also ensured that the Dasher has full access to their earnings. We know these are sensitive situations, and we want every Dasher to know. If you ever feel unsafe or are experiencing something concerning, come to us. We're here to listen, act, and support. So guys, there you have it. That's the DoorDash girl situation. There's still so much unknown here. What was this guy doing? Did he actually fall asleep? What were his intentions? Did he have the front door fully open? Did she push it open further? Did he mean to be out and about with all of his stuff hanging out when the DoorDasher came and brought his food? If he didn't mean to, he still seemingly is a liability to DoorDash, and they've gotten rid of his account as well as hers because she posted his personal information online. If this guy was up to no good, then go after him for the harassment or the indecent exposure or whatever that will be legally. If he wasn't up to no good, what do you do here? Imagine he was actually just asleep on his couch, minding his own, or like not minding his own because he's asleep, and you wake up and you're accused of sexual assault on the internet. That's crazy. But the fact of the matter is we don't know. So how is it that so many people hopped on the internet to jump to conclusions here? How is it that so many are boycotting DoorDash? How is it that so many are supporting this girl wholeheartedly or supporting the guy wholeheartedly? Well, we don't know. What we do know now is why DoorDash terminated her. And it seems like she breached their terms of service, which is a clear-cut case, and it makes sense to sort of lay that to rest at this moment. We do know now that she wasn't sexually assaulted because assault includes a physical act, and no physical act took place here. We do know that there's a possibility that this was a case of indecent exposure or sexual harassment, but we have not had that confirmed. And from the research I've done, it seems that this girl is now open to a defamation case for claiming this was a sexual assault when it in fact was not. So before we bring out our pitchforks and our torches in either direction on anything at any given time, especially based off of something we see in an internet video that just makes us feel a certain way, we need to chill. We need to wait for more information. We cannot be jumping to conclusions because it may be all fun and games and interesting or something we don't even think about when it's not us, but wait until it is. Like, what if you were the subject or the person on either side of this back and forth, on either side of these major allegations? You would want people to hold off and wait for more information, right? So why don't we? And finally, in all situations, but especially those that are criminal or legal, we should wait before posting videos on the internet, especially super emotional videos, especially videos where we're yelling, especially videos where we are levying accusations against other people or companies and corporations, because you never know how that's going to go. You never know whether or not you've misspoken. You should consult several people before doing something like that, because you never know what situation is going to befall you when you post a video like this. And that's why we're now having this discussion about DoorDash girl. This could have gone nowhere and could have been seen by no one, and hopefully could have been handled between DoorDash and this girl, could have been handled between law enforcement, this girl, and this guy, but instead it's being handled in the court of public opinion. It's a no-no. And guys, those are my thoughts on DoorDash girl. Drop your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, if you disagree with anything I said in this video, do get out, but do so respectfully. I encourage healthy debate on this channel. And if you like this video, like, subscribe, click the notification bell to be notified every single time I post a video for you guys, which is every day. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.
Yeah, you better. Yeah, you better.